Peter Porman was labelled a potential risk to colleagues after discussing dictionary definitions. It was during an internal disciplinary hearing meeting where no students were present, but the University of Manchester is now examining whether his language in that meeting constituted racist and inappropriate conduct. Tell me more about this story, and does stuff like this make you fear for higher education?
Absolutely, it does. And, you know, this is a perfect example of how stupid cancel culture is. Because, as you say, this was an internal disciplinary hearing. There were no students present. So there was no one in the student body who could take offence from this professor's words. Also, he was discussing the dictionary definition of the N-word. He wasn't using it as a form of racial abuse. Now, I think we can all agree that if he had called a black member of staff, a fellow colleague, the N-word, then that would be a disciplinary issue. That would be something that would have to be sorted out. You can't do that in the workplace. But he was simply describing a word and giving the dictionary definition of it. You know, people have to be free to be able to do that. We can't run scared from words within that kind of context when you're just having a cool discussion about what they mean. But it really sums up the cult of fragility on campus. And it really indicates that it's not just a problem amongst kind of crazy blue-haired students, but also amongst academics themselves, where they take offense at ordinary discussions about the meanings of words. I think the university in the 21st century has become this kind of factory of vulnerability where everyone is encouraged to take offense at everything. And that is not conducive to the pursuit of knowledge that a university is supposed to be doing.
No, definitely not another example of stupidity from universities. Brendan, a study of BBC headlines since the October 7 attacks has found 3 times more were critical of Israel than of Hamas. The Telegraph is reporting references to Hamas committing possible war crimes appeared once in the broadcaster's coverage, while those featuring claims of Israeli genocide, famine and starvation appeared 45 times. Brendan, is this another example of this institutional bias that's continuing to plague Britain's public broadcaster?
Yeah, the BBC's bias on Israel is out of control. I mean, it really is actually quite disgusting. And you see it every single night on News at 10. They just pump this anti-Israel propaganda into people's homes day after day. It's really quite disturbing. And as this new study finds, they're 3 times more likely to criticize Israel than they are to criticize Hamas. The recent Prescott dossier that was caused a controversy a couple of weeks ago, that found that that the BBC made so many mistakes on the Israel issue that it had to issue, on average, 2 corrections every week since 7th of October 2023. And that's because it basically became a mouthpiece for Hamas. It was spreading Hamas propaganda, Hamas lies into people's homes every single day. And the consequences have been dire. Firstly, it has led people to believe things about Israel that are not true. But secondly, it has endangered the Jews of Britain. It has contributed to a crisis of anti-Semitism in this country, the like of which we haven't seen for a very long time.